Don't look at your Labubu doll right now. Don't let it know you're listening to this. Just keep doing whatever you're doing and listen carefully. 3 weeks ago, I discovered that my cute little doll had been recording me naked, streaming me live to hundreds of perverts, making money off my body while I slept. But here's the truly horrifying part. The man who created these dolls is in prison now. Yet 2 nights ago, I got a text message, a link to a live stream of myself in my own bedroom through the eyes of another Labubu, which means someone else is out there, still watching, still streaming. And if you own one of these dolls, they're watching you too. My name is Emma Chen. I'm a 17-year-old, straight-A student, captain of the debate team, and I never believed in conspiracy theories or ghost stories. I'm the girl who explains away urban legends with logic and facts. Which is why what happened to me is so terrifying. Because if it can happen to someone like me, someone careful, someone smart, it can happen to anyone. So ask yourself, do you really know what's inside that innocent doll watching you from your shelf? It started 3 weeks ago at Jefferson High's weekend market. I was looking for vintage jewelry when I saw them. A dozen Labubu dolls spread across a red blanket like tiny corpses. The vendor looked exactly like the kind of man your parents warn you about. 50s, greasy hair, yellow teeth that looked like they hadn't been cleaned in years. His hands shook when he counted money, and he kept licking his lips when he looked at me. But the dolls, they were hypnotic. Ugly, but cute. Disturbing, but irresistible. Like they were calling me. I chose the one with the striped sweater because it seemed to be staring directly at me. "Take good care of her," the vendor said as he handed it over. "She'll take very good care of you." I should have run when he said that. Should have thrown the doll away and never looked back. Because from the moment I brought it home, I was never alone again. That first night something felt wrong. The doll sat on my bookshelf, but its eyes, they felt different. Not like glass, like they were alive, watching, studying. I changed into my strawberry pajamas that night, alone in my room with the door locked and curtains drawn. Private, safe, or so I thought. 3 days later, Jason Miller slid into the seat next to me in calculus class. He looked me up and down and said, "Strawberry pajamas, huh? Cute choice, Emma." My blood turned to ice. "How do you know what I sleep in?" I whispered. He just winked and walked away, leaving me frozen in my chair. But that was just the beginning. Because it wasn't just Jason who knew my secrets. Tyler Brooks knew about my crush on Marcus. Something I'd only whispered to my best friend Sarah during a late-night phone call in my bedroom. Kevin Walsh repeated a joke I told myself while looking in the mirror. Someone was listening to my phone calls. Someone knew what I did when I thought I was alone. Someone was watching me in my most private moments. And every morning, the Labubu was in a different position. A slight tilt to the head, a new angle facing my bed. I'd move it to face the wall, and by morning, it would be staring at me again. I stopped changing in my room, started sleeping on the living room couch, but I could still feel those glass eyes following me, even from down the hall. Until one night, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know the truth. Last Tuesday night, my hands were shaking so badly, I could barely hold the scissors. But I knew I had to cut that doll open. I had to prove to myself I wasn't going insane. I cut along the back seam, expecting cotton stuffing. Normal doll innards. Proof that I was just a paranoid teenager. Instead, I found metal, circuit boards, copper wires, and a tiny camera lens staring back at me like a mechanical eye. For 3 weeks, this thing had been recording everything. Me changing clothes, me crying over homework. I touched myself when I thought no one would ever know. And somewhere out there, strangers were watching, paying to watch, getting up to my most intimate moments. But the camera was just the beginning. What I found online made me vomit. livingdollfeeds.net looked like any other campsite. Professional layout, payment options, and user reviews. Except every single stream showed teenage girls who had no idea they were being broadcast. I found my stream immediately. Strawberry Girl. Named after the pajamas Jason had seen me wear. Over 2,000 viewers. Hundreds of disgusting comments about my body. But I wasn't alone. Melissa from chemistry class was bookworm babe. Rebecca from track was runner girl 15. Girls from different states, different schools, all with the same type of doll, watching them. Each stream had donation buttons, premium access options, private show request. This wasn't some sick hobby. This was a business built on violating teenage girls. And the man behind it all was closer than I ever imagined. Dennis Griggs looked exactly like you'd expect. Basement-dwelling creep with dead eyes and a collection of restraining orders. But he was smarter than anyone realized. For 18 months, he'd been selling surveillance dolls at schools and festivals across 12 states. His basement was a factory of violation. Dozens of modified Labubu dolls, ready to ship. He made over $400,000 streaming our stolen footage. Had premium subscribers paying hundreds of dollars for specific requests. Custom angles, particular outfits, even sleep schedules. When I testified against him, he never looked away, never blinked, just stared at me with this satisfied smile, like he was proud of what he'd done. The same smile stitched onto every doll he sold. In that moment, I realized something terrifying. He wasn't sorry. He was inspired. And that's when I knew this wasn't over. For 3 months after the trial, I almost felt normal. Dennis got 15 years in federal prison. The website was shut down. I thought the nightmare was over. I started sleeping in my own room again. Stopped checking for cameras. Even bought new pajamas. Not strawberry ones. Then, last Tuesday, package arrived. No return address, brown paper and red ribbon. My hand started shaking before I even opened it. Inside was another Labubu, identical to the first. Same striped sweater, same glass eyes, same stitched smile, and a note. Sorry, limited edition. Written in the same handwriting as Dennis's customer service emails. But Dennis was in prison, which meant someone else was continuing his work. The FBI recovered 67 modified dolls from Dennis's basement, but his shipping records showed over 3,000 sold. Almost 3,000 girls are potentially being watched right now. And that's when I realized the truth. Dennis wasn't working alone. This was bigger than one basement creep. This was a network. Because 2 nights ago, I got a text from an unknown number. No words, just a live stream link. I clicked it and saw myself in real time, in my own bedroom, through the eyes of a Labubu. A Labubu I still haven't found. Which means they're still out there, still watching, still streaming. If you own a Labubu doll, it's watching you right now, recording this conversation, streaming your reaction to perverts who get off on teenage girls discovering they've been violated. Stop this video. Go to your room. Find your doll. Cut it open. Look for a red blinking light. Because every second you wait is another second they're watching you. 3,000 dolls are still out there. 3,000 girls are being violated right now, having their innocence stolen and sold to the highest bidder. I can't sleep anymore. Can't feel safe anywhere. Because I know they're still watching, still waiting, still planning their next violation. And the worst part? You'll never know you're being watched until someone at school mentions your strawberry pajamas. Sweet dreams. They're watching.